go through something real quick called the Maximum Potential Calculator. And this is really valuable in the sense that this really gives you an idea of not only all the money that's going to pass through your hands in your working years, but also, if things aren't done properly, um, how much money and how much opportunity can be lost. And really, that's more important, finding ways to recapture the money that's getting away from you. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. I'm going to show this to you here. We're going to do this for 35 years. Let's say we have a 30-year-old that wants to retire at the age of 65, which, if you know me, I don't really like that word. It indicates that we're not going to produce any more value. And really, when you look at the word retire, it means death, or it means to retreat. So we'll try to work past that point. But let's say this individual is planning on working for another 35 years, and right now, let's say they're making $100,000 a year. Okay. And let's say there's going to be a 4% increase in income every single year. I'm not going to hit enter yet, but let's take a quick look at this. Just at $100,000 a year, in a matter of 35 years, there would be around $3.5 million that goes through that person's hands. All right. Now, let me go ahead and put in a 4% annual increase in income. If we have that, this individual would have approximately $7.3 million go through their hands. Now, would you believe that that much money would go through your bank, go through your hands in a matter of 35 years? It probably doesn't seem like it, but when you compound all this, it really starts to add up. So just a really good way to highlight, how much money is potentially going to be going through someone's hands. All right. So I want to hop on over here to the total taxes. What's the number one cost that we're going to incur over the course of our lifetime? It's taxes. All right. And that we not only have federal income taxes, but most states have some kind of state taxation as well, unless you're in Texas or Florida or a few other states. But beyond that, we also have taxes for gasoline, really taxes for just about anything, sales tax. So we're going to be conservative here. Let's put in 35%, even though it's most likely going to be higher than that. Okay, but we'll be conservative. Let's go ahead and hit enter, and let's see the impact that taxes alone can have on this person's portfolio. So what this is showing you here, keep in mind, we originally had $7.3 million going through our hands. Look at the impact that taxes alone had on how much money will be going through this individual's hands. We went from 7.3 million down to 4.7 million. That's a huge cost. We lost $2.5 million just from that one area. Do you think that it could be beneficial to look at strategies that would potentially lower your taxation? We'll come back to that. Let's look at debt service. Now, consumer debt is one of the highest expenses, that burdens, the average Joe American. And really, the average American at this point is paying about 34.5% on debt service. That could be student loans, auto loans, mortgages, whatever it may be. Okay, so 34.5%. It doesn't mean that all debt is bad. We just have to really look at restructuring some things and making sure we're building money on our side of the ledger. So I'm going to go ahead and push enter here. Let's see what impact this has. Keep in mind in these numbers here. So just from that right there, we've lost another $2.5 million over the course of this person's working years. We have started out with 7.3. We're already down to 2.2, and we haven't even factored in lifestyle arrangements yet, whether that's to eat, to pay for utilities, to go out and watch a movie with our family, whatever it may be. So we still need to figure that in as well. And really, statistically, if you look at the numbers, it's going to be right around 28 to 30%. Okay, so let's go ahead and punch that in. Again, this is money going out of our pocket, and we have to do some of these things. You're not always going to be able to avoid debt. You have to pay taxes. And you obviously have to eat and get gasoline and all those different things that you have to do in terms of your lifestyle. But once again, let's take a look at the impact that this has. We went from 7.3 all the way down to $184,131. Okay, now, to be fair, we haven't been earning anything on this money. So let's be fair here. What do you think is going to be a typical earnings rate for your money after taxes, after fees, after costs, all those things? Let's start off conservative. Let's go with 5%. Okay, and let's see what this does to this number on the far right. Okay, so it made it better for sure. We went from 184 all the way up to 412, but keep in mind this is going on over a span of 35 years' time. Do you think that $412,000 is going to be sufficient to provide the needs for you and your family with certainty for the rest of your life? I know it wouldn't for me. So, okay, well, maybe people would say, well, I'm going to get better than 5%. So let's go ahead and double that. Let's double that 5% to 10%, and let's see what that number does on the far right here. Okay, so it's not bad. We went up to 1.1 million. But once again, let's keep in mind that this number right here has to last us for the rest of our lives. What happens if the market goes down? What happens if it goes up? Because it could do either one of those. But that's not necessarily the point I'm trying to make. Let's look what happens if we knock this number back down to 5. Okay. Let's see what happens here if we're able to strategically position our money where it's protected from taxes. Maybe we can restructure some things where we go from paying 35% to 30% in taxes. Let's take a look at which one had a bigger impact. Doubling our interest rate and chasing higher returns, or finding strategies to reduce our costs in the form of taxation. Let's see which one did. So right there, we went from 400 and some thousand all the way up to 1.2 million. So just by simply knocking off and strategically positioning our assets better, we gained more money from that compared to trying to chase high returns. Now let's say we were also able to be a little wiser with how we are, consuming debt and how we're paying that off. Let's say we're down to 20%. Oops. Let's say we're down to 20%. Let's see what that does. Now we're all the way up to $3.6 million. Okay, and we can keep going and plugging in different numbers, but my question to you is, do you think that it would be wise to look at options, to look at strategies that could reduce your overall costs throughout the majority of your life, compared to chasing high returns in a 401k or an IRA or a mutual fund or a stock? Which do you think would be more valuable? Hopefully you've been able to see within this short video here that really strategically looking at everything holistically, reducing your costs, reducing taxes, inflation, we didn't even talk about that. All those things have a true wealth eroding potential on your money. So hope you found some value out of this, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for your time.